What's good, Jax? You probably now just receiving the upload vid I did, the advertisement vid for the upcoming live stream, which will be held on 10/24/18 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out. No excuses this time. You have the video, you have the advertisement video. Go ahead, post it on your Facebook pages. You can share it on your Instagram. Whatever you got to do, get it out. Our goal this time, I want at least 500 people to be in this live stream. That's right, 500. Because we're going in, we're going to have a hotline number. So all of the new subscribers, call in. All the haters, call in. Anything you have to hash out, anything you have to ask, this will be the time to do it. Go ahead and hit the likes button for this video that I'm about to do. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, add us on Instagram at Left Side of the Brain too. I'm glad to report that the Jaguar family is growing. And that's what it's all about. Growth will let you know that you are successful, whether that's in knowledge, whether that's in financial growth, or whether spiritually. Growth will let you know that you are successful. Even if you hit the weight gym, when your muscles get bigger, that's letting you know that the work is paying off. So I'm glad to report that. I'm out here today. This is fall semester. We got a lot of new students in the classroom. That's good. Introduce yourselves. Add us on Instagram. I like how the channel is going. I like the familiarity that's taking place. Today's video is brought to you by LeBlue Ultra Pure Drinking Water. This is my water of choice right here. I always freeze my water. So when I'm out, it'll be real cold. It just, thaws out as I'm driving around. But I always keep a bottle of water on me. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's topic. What I want to talk about today, and I was going to do this as a red light edition the other night, but I said, nah, I'm going to just save it for a day when I can come out to the park like now. I want to talk about relationships. And the reason why I want to talk about relationships, because relations, for all of you proper people, relations is a fundamental aspect of our life. You come into this world in a relationship. You come into this world in a relationship with your mother before anybody. You come into this world with a relationship. You're in your mother's stomach. You're moving around. You're kicking around. You're kicking. Hey, don't you see I'm ready to be born, mother? And then finally, she gives birth. And from that point, headed forward, your life is based upon relationships. And then from the initial stages of birth, your life forms a need for relationships. You start feeling inadequate without being in a relationship. And this inadequacy creates a addiction and a dependency. So people become your drug. People becomes your drug. You feel incomplete without taking your daily dose of people. Let me tell you something about me. I only talk to people out of necessity. And what I mean is, I really don't like talking to people. When I'm out in public, or when I'm around my colleagues, when I have to work, when I have to do what I have to do to survive. You see, I hate faking for people. It irritates me to have to be around people and having to fake. I hate it. You see, and I've been doing some thinking, man. Like, a lot of times You see, you need to become self-absorbed with yourself. Not vanity. It's a difference between what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like what I always teach on the channel. I like to say we. What we always say on this channel. Living for yourself and not for others. And I can always relate things back to a parable. What do we say? Anything that you explain, there should be some type of example in nature that can correlate with what you are saying. Because nothing in nature nothing that you say or do far as a fundamental principle, it's impossible for it to exceed beyond what you see in the natural world around you. You see, it's impossible for it to exceed past the natural world. Okay. Now, when I say you need to be more self-absorbed, this is what I mean by that. Let's take the Creator, for instance. I pondered upon this. When you think about the one that we call God, right? What you notice is that for eons and eons and eons of darkness, before there was a such thing as time, God was in the mirror, looking at himself, just reflecting upon who he was. I did that exercise today before I got dressed, and I was asking God, I was like, what you want me to deliver to the people today? And this is the subject that he told me. He gave me this example. I had got out of the shower, and I was just looking in the mirror, and I was saying to myself, this is how God was reflecting for all of that time before there was anything. Because remember, when you open the book, the Bible, it says that, and the face of God moved upon the waters. What does water do? It gives off a reflection. So I was just standing in that mirror, just looking and just looking and just saying to myself, this is how God must have felt before there was anything. He was just embracing who he was. Because, see, first of all, it's unhealthy to get into relationships without knowing who you are. You see, you got to have a identity for yourself, or else you will have what they call a identity crisis. One thing about God, he doesn't have an identity crisis. He knows who he is. He spent so much time just in the mirror, absorbing himself, radiating in who he was. That's what meditation is about. It's about radiating in your quintessence self. And what that word means, the part of you that's before anything. That's what God was radiating in. He was radiating in his quintessence self, the part of him that was before anything. And then he knew who he was. You see? Confident in who he was. So when you are not confident in yourself and you are pursuing relationships, it's basically like this. It's like a game of cat and mouse. And this is a synchronicity right here. You know this is divine. Because these people, they are playing a game. And it's a man and a woman. Thank you, God. You see how the spirit works? They come playing a game. I'm talking about a relationship. In this game, let's just say that tennis ball that they are using. That's the purpose of the relationship, okay? Let me say what I was going to say first, and then I'm going to apply it to that game that's taking place. When you are in a relationship, you are basically playing a game of cat and mouse. Meaning, you are searching for your purpose in the eyes of another person. But you will never find your purpose in the eyes of another person. True self-value is defined by how you think about yourself. Nobody can give you that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm about to apply that to this game. Now that you see the green tennis ball in her hand? Now, let's just say that represents your self-worth. You know the female control the relationship. She about to bat it at him. Now watch this. That green tennis ball, that's your self-worth. Boom, she just hit you. You chasing it. Boom. Did I do good enough, honey? No, you didn't. She throws it back to him. Is that better, honey? No, it's not. That's whack. She says something like that. Is that good enough now, honey? Honey, do I got to try again? Boom. There you go, money. Is my self-worth good? No, it's not good. Oh, you heard him? Now she threw it all over there. That's telling her it can be a man or woman, any kind of relationship. It's not really so much about just male and female. I'm just applying it. You can apply it to any way, like friends. This can be for women. You can apply it. This can be for men. Look, honey, is that good enough? No, it's not. Honey, how about now, honey? No, bring it again. Is that good enough? Oh, I missed it. You missed one more time, that's it. You see what I'm saying? That green tennis ball, it represents your self-worth. When you're trying to chase that, who you are in the eyes of another person, it becomes a game. You see what I'm saying? It becomes a game. That's why I say that true self-value is determined on how you feel about yourself, how you think about yourself, rather. As a man thinketh, so is he. You see what I'm saying? When you're trying to fix yourself according to other people, you'll never be good enough, because this world is not designed for you to be good enough. Just look at, okay, you know how I'll say that I can back everything up with an example? I just said that this world is not designed for you to be good enough. I'm gonna give you an example. Look at the automobile industry. Look at the cell phone industry. Okay? What happens is they come out with a new product every year to keep you wanting more and more and more. Your good is never good enough. Oh, I got the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is ancient. It's ancient history. They got the iPhone 10 now. Oh, I got the Samsung Galaxy S8, which is a good phone. You know? But now they got the Samsung Galaxy Note, even better. And you know what? It's going to get better than that. Because the whole purpose, see, if people became satisfied, then evil could not have any purpose. Evil is searching for an identity as well. The devil, he needs an identity. He finds his identity by making you dissatisfied. Coming into your true self equals satisfaction or meditation. I'm not just speaking about meditation sitting in a lotus position. Meditation is more broad than that. I mean, coming in terms with who you are. That's how you beat the system. People think it's about guns, protesting in the streets. If that was the case, then why isn't the world at peace? People have been protesting and fighting wars since the beginning of time. Am I right or wrong? I know I'm right. So it's not in any of that. It's based in accepting yourself, living for others, living for yourself and not for others. The Jaguar lifestyle is the only way. The hashtag I'm done movement is the only way. And by the way, I got shirts coming out. I'm already talking to the people right now. So y'all just, wait out on that. So what I'm saying is, this world is not designed for you to be good enough. You see? And how they keep coming out with cars and new this, new that, things change. Because if they created something that satisfied everybody, guess what? They would be out of business. They got light bulbs that can last for an entire lifetime, but they don't sell them. They don't sell them to the general public because it will put GE out of business. It will put them out of business. General Electric, it will put them out of business. So you know what? They got to create something that has a limited lifespan and something that dies after a certain amount of hours, so you'll come back to the electronics store or Walmart and go into the light bulb section and get your light bulbs. They got to keep you coming back. That's the nature of evil. It's set up just like this system. Because, see, one thing about a vampire system, a vampire, they have a hole at the bottom of their stomach. And that hole is constantly siphoning off of your energy. It's never filled. It's never satisfied. Right? Truth, it doesn't operate like that. Truth is the type of herbal medicine. The herbal medicine for you proper people. Medicine. The herbal medicine that heals you. It don't cover up the symptom and keep you coming back like the pharmacist. Truth heals you. You take one dose and you heal. That's the difference between truth and lies. This world versus the truth. Us versus them. They're going to feed you an appetite. They're going to feed you a diet of bullshit. Because they want to keep you coming back. So they feeding you bullshit. We not like that on this channel. That's why people can say stuff. I don't really get many disagreements because the things I say, I always back it up. And I make sure that it comes across crystal clear and pristine. Just like water. That's why you can't find the truth is like pure water. You can't find no fault in water. Everybody needs it. That's how truth's supposed to be. It's just like water. You never get tired of it. You can never get tired of it. You can get tired of water. Everything needs water. Even evil people need water. Everybody, righteous, racist, evil, animals, poisonous snakes. What does that mean? They got to keep you coming back. But check this out. I just said everybody needs water, right? You know why? What does that relate to? That relates to what we speak about. That relates to when we speak about the time before the great falling away. And what did we say? That these evil people, they need us to survive. They need to parasite off of us. Just like I said, truth represents water. And I said that even poisonous snakes, venomous insects, everything in this world needs the truth to drink in order to live. So that's why they have us, the united souls, inside of their world. Because they don't have an existence without us. We can exist without them, but they can't exist without us. It's just like water. Water can exist without us, but we can't exist without water. It's impossible. We can't exist without water. So that's why they keep us around. You know, if they took all of the people with souls and they put us in a cage, they wouldn't even kill us. They wouldn't kill all of us. Because if we die, they die. And I've said it plenty times before. A parasite, it needs a host body to suck from. Mosquitoes, leeches, they need people who gossip. They don't have no life other than sucking off your life so they can spread the negative energy, spread rumors about you. All of this is how organic portals get down. And bringing it back to what we speaking about today. If you are addicted to relationships, you are the same way. You operating like the organic portal, you operating like the parasite, and you the one that's supposed to be the united soul. And that's the biggest problem that we have as Jaguars. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is we fall victim to that mother instinct that we have inside of us since our birth into this world. Remember, I say that addiction for relationships, it was created during those 9 months. And that's one of the strongest addictions that holds people together. Think about it. If they didn't put that addiction to be around other people inside of us, everything would just separate and go its own direction. Because think about it. This universe is so large that they say it's about 7 billion people on this earth. This universe is so large that you can put all 7 billion people in outer space and just let them separate apart from each other as far as the east is from the west. And nobody would have to speak to nobody again. Everybody would end up in their own universe somewhere. Think about it. Think about an astronaut out in outer space, and he has his safety rope connected to the space shuttle. And say his safety rope disconnects and he just drifts off and off into outer space. Everybody, it's so much space that everybody could just drift away and never see each other again. But they put a drug inside of us. It's called relationship. And when you get around people, your brain releases this endorphin. It gets happy when you see people. That was created on purpose to keep societies congealed together. And it's in all forms of nature. When you see geese flying in that V formation, when you see ants walking in a single file line, you notice how every species stick together, birds of a feather flock together. So what you see in nature is a combination of separation and togetherness at the same time. What I mean by that is relationships create separation because people relate to commonalities. And if I have something in common with this group and I have something not in common with the next group, we separate. And there you have division, whether that's racial divisions, us versus them kind of divisions. Even what we doing is a division. The United Souls breaking away from them, trivial humans establishing mayhem. That's a division. Now, yeah, left side, you talking about relationships, but what are we to do? That's what somebody asked. Okay, thanks for asking that question. Now, this is the answer to that question. In everything in nature, there is good and bad. There is a such thing called healthy relationships. You have healthy relationships and you have unhealthy relationships. You got unhealthy foods and you got healthy foods. So for everything in nature, there is an opposite, right? So what is a healthy relationship, left side of the brain? A healthy relationship is what we have on this channel. Healthy relationships, in a nutshell, are partnerships with people that liberate you, that liberate your soul. And that's it. Partnership that you have with people that liberate you from the paradigm of, I don't want to use the word paradigm, but partnerships that liberate you from the social structure. That still isn't a word I wanted to use. I had a word in mind, but it slipped my mind. It's basically partnerships that liberate you from the social structure of doing things, the status quo. Most times we find ourselves in toxic, unhealthy relationships. You know, and many times it's good people who end up in bad relationships because it's more of them than us. So we find ourselves with our back against the wall, you know, and many times we say, well, I got to do something. I mean, I wish I could meet a man like left side of the brain, or I wish I could meet, you might be a man, and I wish I could meet an ideal woman. But this is the thing. I understand that we are so far apart from each other. And sometimes we feel like we have to choose the lesser of the evils. And we end up with somebody, we see some negativity in said person, but we are choosing between the lesser of the evils. And because of that, we settle with the best of the trash, in other words. Like almost like a homeless person looking for a way to survive, and he's searching through the trash can and saying to himself, well, I can eat this piece of bread. At least it don't got too much dirt on it. At least it wasn't at the bottom of the trash can. I guess it's kind of healthy. We end up doing that. You see what I'm saying? And that is also a form of compromising. Yes, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. And I still fight with that in my own life. See, I'm transparent on this channel. You see, but the thing is with me, it's a lot of babes in this lifestyle. It's a lot of babes in this Jaguar lifestyle. And some of you are not strong enough. Some of you still asking baby questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you haven't reached the level that I'm on. It's almost like a circus performer who can juggle fire. You know how they say play with fire and you get burnt? Sometimes I have to deal with people, but because I have I never say you as long as you are living, you are still mastering, but I have a good mastery over individuals. So sometimes even like I said, I have to talk to people out of strategical necessity, survival necessity. But I know how to maneuver and deal with these people. It's like a zookeeper who knows how to work around lions. It's always a risk of danger. It's always a possibility. But when you know how to handle yourself, it's safe to say you will be okay. It's always better to see, this is the thing. That's why you can't really rely on anybody. And that's why I say that the way you think about yourself is the only way to determine your true self-value. It's all about how you think about yourself. It's not about chasing it in the eyes of another person, because another person can always change on you. They can always switch up, you know. Like it's a story about Jesus, and who was that denied Jesus? I think it was Peter. And Peter was like, Jesus, I'm gonna be with you to the end. And Jesus told Peter, he said, when the cock crows 3 times, you will deny me. He said something like, before the cock crows 3 times, you will deny me. And guess what happened? The prophecy was fulfilled. And Jesus was an enlightened man. He knew about human prison bars. He knew that he was dealing with Peter. He already knew. But because he knew his self, because he knew his mission on this earth, it didn't shock or surprise him. This is part 1 of this video. I'm about to cut this off right now and do a part 2. This is Left Side of the Brain.